This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net, and it is time for Love Letters Live with Janet Gallin. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you, dear. I'm going to introduce my guest to Love Letters Live, my dear angel friend, David Zimmerman. And David, I'm going to go to you, but I just do want to say, just kind of to start off, and you can describe more, that David is an acting teacher. Well, David's an actor and a singer and many things. And I actually learned about Zoom because David was kind enough to ask me to join in on a class he was giving on Zoom, which I never would get to do in person because he was, it's in LA. So David, you talk about acting class.
Acting class.
Or just tell us about yourself and what you do primarily, because I know it's a few things.
Right. Well, if I'm going to write an autobiography, it would be called My Name is Sybil, because I have so many different personalities.
You do.
Of teaching and acting and casting and directing and producing. So it's quite fun. My main love right now is teaching. And I teach at Performing Arts Studio West, which is located in Inglewood.
Tell us a little about that. I know it's one of my favorite places. So.
Isn't it wonderful? Oh my God. What was it? 7 years ago, I went there, and I had heard about it for, 15, 20 years.
Really?
I did. And I finally said, I got to check this place out, because I had been with Born to Act players. I had been at Inclusion Films with the Meet the Biz program, which I produced and created. And then I finally said, I want to check this place out. I walked in, a big front room that they have meetings in and music in. Then you go through a hallway with all the posters from...
Tell us, just for people who don't know about it, because I walked in and I was struck the same way you are. It's like a city.
It is.
It's like room after created room after created room, and this one for animation and this one for singing. Tell us who the students are.
We have over 100 students with different kinds of abilities, I call it, or some people would say disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, blind, etc. And a lot of them are working in the business. Their shows are nominated for Emmys.
Give us a couple of examples of the shows, because I know I've met some of the actors through you, and
yes,
they're part of my life now too.
Oh my God! Well, we have one of the most famous is Born This Way.
Mm-hmm.
We have John Tucker in that. We have several. Kaylee Versfeld has a role in that, and I think it was on for 5 seasons. They got nominated for, was it 13 Emmys or more? Right. And they received at least 3.
Yes, and Kaylee's is huge in the world of leadership and disability.
Oh yeah, the woman is constantly doing stuff. She even has her picture engraved on a coin.
Really?
For Down syndrome awareness, and it was for one of the annual Down syndrome, I think, walks or something like that.
Okay. And as far as your own, I know that you're a wonderful singer and performer, but that's a little bit on back burner right now for all these other things you're doing?
Yeah, I would say so, once in a while. I'm doing the Meet the Biz online right now, where I think we're up to 170 interviews over the last 6 months.
I didn't realize it was that much, although I've been following it. Tell us who some of your teachers are.
Well, you, of course, we've had you a couple of times come on and share your knowledge and love. In fact,
but the people who are teaching in LA with you when it's in person. Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
I used this today. Guess what I used it for?
I hope to write a love letter to somebody.
Yes, to God. It was the voting. I voted today with this.
Oh. Okay, just to bring people up. So I always say that for those of you, because we all hear people say this, I wish I had a magic wand. And my answer is you do. And it's that pen that you use to write letters to people and also to vote right now, dark blue or black ink, people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, online we have you, we have Mark Povinelli, we had Danny Wordburn, Nick Novicki, Julie Newmar, of
So
course.
these are all people who are teaching and.
Well, these are, you know, and like you said, teaching. I mean, these
Taking
are
part.
right now interviews.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But online, they also teach when they talk, and so it is a definite teaching experience. And sometimes we have students join us, sometimes we don't. Sometimes
I have a question about your teaching now. I know that the teaching was with an eye towards and very successful casting people in actual roles in movies and television.
Yeah.
But right now with COVID, nobody's going to studios to shoot. Oh, am I wrong? Okay, go ahead. Tell me what it is now. That
they have actually opened up to where they have to do a quarantine. They have to take so many tests a week. Our good friend Emilio Palame shot part of his film this last month.
Okay.
So he's been working. Mark Povinelli is in Canada now,
Wow.
filming an amazing film, and I'd have to look it up if we look it on IMDb, with Kate Blanchett.
Oh, I love her.
I know, so do I. So
I just saw Mrs. America recently.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, Kate Blanchett portraying Phyllis Schlafly. Well, I knew about Phyllis Schlafly, and her stance wasn't mine. And I want to tell you, seeing Kate Blanchett play her, I'm so in love with Phyllis Schlafly. As seen through the persona of, she could play anybody. She's just brilliant. Actually, Phyllis Schlafly was no slacker either. She was very smart. And I have a feeling very charismatic. And Kate Blanchett got that whole thing. Okay, I'm off on Kate Blanchett.
She's so amazing. Yeah, she is.
So in love with her.
She's one of the best out there.
Isn't she? Okay, so people really are making movies again.
They are. They're, it's starting up. Not a lot, and I would, we really focus on the union because they're very careful. They're cautious about it. I'm not saying non-union aren't, but from what I see, they're not as strict on the, quote, COVID thing. So we want to be safe, and we really are protective of our students.
So I wanted to talk to you about, because we had talked that we could talk about this.
Yeah.
COVID and pandemic. Yeah. And I was curious, because I had asked you, and we talked a little bit about it. What is it that you realize you can do without?
During COVID.
Yes.
The gardeners outside my window.
What?
The gardeners outside my window that came today. Also the dog next door who, God bless him.
Oh, no, you're talking about what you could do without because they're still too noisy. But I mean, what have you had to do without that you used to like, that you realize you don't need so much of it? I mean, for me, obviously it's I don't have my hair done anymore. I cut it myself, and I've learned to do without the salon.
I haven't cut mine. In fact, I could actually have a ponytail now, a little one.
Good for you.
I have decided that I'm not getting a haircut until there's a vaccine. So we're going to see this hair down to my feet.
Yeah. You're going to go through the stage where you can look like Ben Franklin when it gets to about here.
Maybe. I had a beard yesterday, but I shaved it because I looked too much like, I don't know.
All right. So what things, I mean, for me, as social a person as I am, dinner parties, and the fancier the better, and I love cooking for friends and 10 around a table. I can only have 1 or 2 people over outside on my front porch with chairs that are a good 10 to 15 feet. And I am surprised at how happy I am visiting with 1 or 2 or 3 people at a time.
Well,
so, turns out I can do without the dinner parties.
I'm there with you. I mean, I did my second, maybe third out of the whole 7 months little parties. And like you said, 3-4 people maximum. Distanced outside with, I did one with Karen Morrow and Greg Schreiner, and his honey. And it was nice. It was nice. And it was nice that we got, you know, instead of all these people around, it's a little simpler and you get to focus more on the people that you're with.
Right. And people get to take more personal time to express what they feel about things.
Exactly.
And in the beginning, people were coming over and they were bringing their own sandwiches and their own cocktails. They just didn't want anything that was touched by anybody. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else I'm trying to think about what I could do without. I just know that I've adapted. I mean, it took me a couple of weeks to adapt. The first week I was very anxious,
What were you anxious about?
Just this scary virus that's out there, and you can't touch people. And every time I would stick my head out the window, and there are people walking around with no masks, and I'm like, I'm not going out, you know, I'm very cautious. I have my pre-existing condition, which everybody seems to have something or the other.
Right.
And so it was scary. And also, I'm not that way anymore. I used to be very anxious about my health. I'm not so like focused on it. But this was, you know, you can't see people. Also, being trapped in these four walls of a small one bedroom is sort of like, you know, the thing that keeps me sane is this.
Yeah, no, isn't that, you know, I went to the market not too long ago. I stopped at the deli section, and there's a man there who always helps me, and I love him. He's just wonderful, Jose Valencia, and he's kind of my go-to person. Well, and you know, you become kind of family-like from the people you see all the time in your life, and we'd see each other outside of the market, give each other a hug, hello, and I miss an armful of people. I do.
I so miss my hugs.
Yeah, so I went the other day and I was telling people about this, and Jose wasn't there, but somebody else took care of me. And wonderful, adorable person. I got my little order, whatever it was. And afterwards, he went like that, which went completely over my, and I looked at him, he said, through his mask, he said, "It's my hug." And I went, of course. And the funny thing is, it was as good as a hug. I felt his intention.
Right, especially when you go like this, you could feel it. It's like, oh, you could picture.
Oh, you can feel something against your chest. That's true.
Something against your chest, and it's sort of like, you know.
But adapting, yes, adapting to visiting with people differently.
Yeah, and you know, and you realize you try out, you know, Zoom parties with over 10 people, and you sort of go, oh my God, I'm going crazy. I'm trying to focus.
I know.
But then you realize, well, maybe 4, maybe 6 at the maximum.
Yeah, I like 2 or 3. I mean, I like 2, but
yeah, that's nice too.
But for the same reason, so I can really concentrate on what one person is saying. What's the best experience you've had during this? I mean, I've got a whole list of them, but what's the best experience you had during this pandemic?
Oh, okay. This is at this moment. I learned to cook.
I didn't realize that you couldn't before.
No, I could. I was great at poached eggs.
Okay.
I made a mean salmon. I'm very good at salmon and soups. I used to, you know, you've heard of the soup Nazi. I'm the soup Jew.
Okay. So what have you learned to cook?
Well, more and different kinds of soups. I now make what is it? Red lentil soup with butternut squash, onions, garlic, and ginger with potatoes. It's very good. Lamb chops. Oh, which by the way, you know, I learned by burning myself right here.
Wow.
I know I had a whole rack of lamb, and see, my kitchen in this place is so small that, and I'm amazed I didn't burn myself before, but I reached in and the door, you know, it hits the wall almost.
Oh my goodness.
So when I reached in, the door touched my arm for just a second. I went, ah! And boom. And it took 3 weeks. It's still healing.
My goodness.
But that being said, lamb chops, I make soups, I make different kinds of salads. I get different, I eat a lot more. I'm eating healthier, although
You're eating what?
I'm eating healthier.
Oh, healthier. I thought you said yes.
Yeah, and I'm not, I am, there once in a while I'll get those lemon muffins or, I'll take lemon over chocolate any day. What else? Just there's a lot of stuff, oatmeal. I haven't made that in a while, but I knew how to make oatmeal, but I like to doctor it up.
All right, but you're good. So does it, I mean, I'm cooking a lot because it feels normal. It gives me a feeling of normalcy.
Yeah.
So I make extra, you make soup, and then I just give it out, I take it to people.
Oh, I do that too. And it's healing. It's like a catharsis. I remember one time I felt like I was getting a cold and I said, okay, I'm not going to get a cold. What can I do? So I went to a movie. This was before COVID. We went to a movie. It didn't work. I went to this, that, and the other. And it was the end of the night. I said, I'm going to make some carrot ginger soup. Boom. Just by doing that, healed me.
It's a wonderful feeling. I'm not really eating healthier, I don't think, but I was baking for a while. And I was baking chocolate cakes and chocolate cupcakes because I finally mastered chocolate frosting and ended up making the best chocolate frosting I've ever had.
Just give me the frosting.
Well, right. And I have the recipe and a Post-it stuck, and I stopped because I was making cupcakes and I'd eat half and I'd give the other half away to friends. And the half I kept eating was not boding well.
You know what's so interesting, though, that you brought up about cooking for others? I had actually done that at least once a month, if not twice a month. I buy some nice salmon. I get like 3 nice big pieces, and one for myself, one for my friend Rosalind Kind, and my friend Jerry Jewell. So I bring them over. It's sort of like, we feed each other.
Yes.
Whether it's food or other.
Right, because you've been feeding each other emotionally for so many years. Yes. And so, a friend of mine called about 2 weeks after, into this isolation. And we're talking about, and she has quite a wardrobe, she looks like cover of Vogue all the time. And she said, I'm thinking, how many sweaters do you really need?
Oh, right.
And I said, one, the one I keep wearing every day. We need so much less.
It's so true. And there's still things I need to go through and get rid of.
Like what?
I need to get rid of some stuff in the closet. But, I'll take it out. I go, wait, I remember when I got this and I wore it at this occasion.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Here's something about memories that I learned from my younger daughter.
Yes.
And it's held me in good stead for a long time, since. I had a bridge table, a game table that I grew up with. It was my parents. And then it was my kitchen table when I was first married and my children were young. And I had bought 4 rather ugly chairs to go with it because they were men. Anyway, now I have them not as a kitchen table, but in some other room of the house. And my daughter says to me, Mommy, why do you still have that ugly table and chairs? I said, well, the table isn't ugly. It's a beautiful, the chairs were kind of Gothic, grotesque. And I said, but I've just got so many memories around that table. I have so many memories. And she said, well, you have the memories. Why do you still need the table?
Oh, wow.
And I thought, absolutely, I don't. I got rid of the table and 4 chairs. Let somebody else start building memories.
Oh, that's so interesting you brought that up because I actually have a table. I have a dining room table, beautiful, 1920s, 30s. Wow. And we have 6 chairs. And they were my grandparents. And then my dad got them. And every year at Passover or Thanksgiving, we would get the family around and sit at it. So it has these memories. And the chairs, my grandmother hand wove needlepoint.
Yeah, that's hard to get rid of.
Oh, so, and plus I have the other furniture. You can see this is the kind of wood it is, So this was from them as well. So, it's like I hate to get rid of it. I remember my dad saying, if you do get rid of it, keep it in the family. So on Facebook and through email, I said I have the dining room table chairs from our grandparents and great grandparents and nobody would take it. I'm like going, oh my God, so I still have them because I'm not going to give them.
Oh, yeah, that your mother did the chair. I mean, that's more than I was looking at. That would be very hard to get rid of.
It's hard. Although I did get, at the beginning of this quarantine, I had time, beside working from home, to go through I got all my stuff out of storage, and I had at least 60 boxes.
Oh.
Stuff. And I went through each and every one of those and cut the 60 boxes down to 20.
Wow.
So got rid of 40 boxes. I still have 20, and I probably could.
Well, do you miss anything in those other 40 boxes?
I don't even know. It was a lot of papers, a lot of stuff. I used to collect stuff too, like magazines. I used to be a magazine collector and posters of some sort. I used to collect Streisand material and what else? Hot Wheels. I sold Hot Wheels on eBay. And I have, I remember it was in the late 60s, early 70s. I think 68, 69. I can remember it back then when I was 4 and 5. And my dad, we would go up and you get free, with a fill-up, you get a free Hot Wheel. Well,
I didn't know that, yeah.
Yes. And so my dad kept them. We kept them. Guess how much I sold one for on eBay?
What?
$200. And I got it for free.
Good for you.
So
and somebody else gets to start making memories.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah. And one thing that I wanted to say that just went sort of in behind this brain cell that's saying, yeah, try to find me.
Yeah.
One thing that I was thinking about is getting rid of stuff. Now, anyway, it'll come back to me. Ask me another.
Okay. But I mean, shoes, dressy shoes. I really kind of feel I'm never going to go.
I got rid of mine.
Oh, good for you. Oh, well, that's double duty. I'm not going to go anyplace dressy. I can't see going anyplace dressy anymore.
Well, I see in the future that we'll go place, in about a year.
Back to restaurants and parties and.
Yeah, but that's another thing. I don't need to go to restaurants anymore.
I don't either.
I enjoy cooking. In the 6 months, I think I've been outside to 2, maybe 3 times to a restaurant. But we had plastic around each other. We had our masks.
So did that feel okay?
The first time was okay, not bad. Second time wasn't bad, but then toward the end of the second time, I didn't feel right. So I don't think I'd do it again right now. I don't feel, I'm very extra cautious.
Yeah.
So, no.
I am also, and I feel awful, just awful for the people who have lost businesses between COVID and the fires around us on the West Coast. Entire lives just burned to the ground. And restaurants going out of business, people have sunk all their energy and money into opening. It's terrible.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't understand. I mean, I hope for better for them all, but I don't understand how they're going to survive at half capacity when they still have to buy food and pay electric and pay servers and,
I don't get it either. I don't know how they do it.
I hope better for them all. I talked to 2 people recently, just socially, I mean, and each of them brought up, I didn't ask because I'm such a lady, each of them brought up that life without sex, no.
Oh, life without sex.
And another friend said, having sex would be nice. And I wanted to say, and how do you propose going about that?
You know what? The interesting.
Oh, I don't. What?
You know what the interesting thing about that is?
What?
Well, first I say, what's sex? But
point, yeah.
But the thing is, memories. I've actually had 3 proposals.
Really? Oh, it's because of your soup.
It's my soup.
If you cook and you drive at night, I understand it makes you very popular.
I have some soup for you. You know?
So
But,
how did these proposals come to you, and who were they from?
One person I had been talking to for maybe 6 months before, and we kept on trying together and go on a date and this and that.
But did you actually go on a date or not yet?
No, we hadn't yet. But we talked on the phone and we text and this and that. And finally, of course, COVID happens and all this stuff. And then I got a message, "What are you doing tonight?" I said, "I'm staying in." and then he said, well, let's get together. It's like, no, do you know what's going on?
Right.
That was one. And then on Instagram, this is new to me. In Instagram, somebody I didn't know texted me and said, "Hey, how are you? You want to go out on a date?" Yeah, maybe in about a year.
Oh, okay. So these were date proposals, not marriage proposals.
No, not marriage. No.
You know what? I heard proposals. I went right to marriage proposal.
Oh,
okay.
No, these were date proposals.
Okay.
You know, the step-by-step process.
Yeah.
You know, I like, you know, I know this sounds weird, but I'm slightly old-fashioned, and I like to go on a date first before.
Right.
You know.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, so I have a couple of people I know who are actually going on dates through, you know, Match and whatever, what do you call them, the dating sites.
With masks?
Yeah, so one person said to me, I said, "That doesn't sound so good. I mean, what, you're going to have like a Zoom date?" "No, we're going out to dinner." And I said, "Well, that doesn't sound so good." She said, "Well, get this, we'll have masks on except for when we're eating and drinking." Now, they're at a restaurant. What else is there to do?
What about when they go?
It just doesn't sound, you know, so safe. But anyway,
well,
I wish them all well.
Yeah, and you know, I do find this interesting because, you know, I sometimes wonder, am I being too, you know, anal about this, too tight about being locked up? Because I do know a lot of people who say, "Oh yeah, I went out with so-and-so and this and that, we social distanced and this and that."
Right. And those are the people who shouldn't come into your house right now.
Yeah. You know.
I've seen things on television now the last few days. Absolute warning, excuse me, that don't think just because you know somebody well that you're safe. "Oh, you know, I know her well. She's been my best friend for years. I'm not going to get COVID from her." You don't know that.
No, you don't. And they don't know it either. And they're, you know, they have a good heart and all that, but they don't know. They don't know sometimes who they've been in contact with.
I think it's always a good time to be just extra anal about things, you know, and be specific and careful, and now double it.
I agree.
And that's always been kind of a compliment in my family. When my younger daughter was in high school, she'd done something and she told me this, and somebody had said to her, "Oh, you're just so anal." And she said, "Oh, thank you so much." Yes.
That's what this episode's called, anal.
Okay, so we know some of the things. It doesn't sound like you're planning on or having to do without too much, except for the hugging.
Well, that is the biggest thing. If I had to say the thing I miss the most, it's the hugging. Because
Me too.
I am a person who loves, you know, loves that connection. One thing that I'm doing, again, the way that I do hug in a way,
Wow.
and even though it's like a lot of work, but I don't mind it, is doing my interviews, because I do one a day.
Yeah.
I do one a day, 5 days a week. And yesterday I did an interview with one of the most amazing meditation healers. He does sound baths, and it's coming on next week on Meet the Biz. But he does a whole meditation, and it's just amazing. And I'll have to, you know, I'll
you do this kind of hugging.
This kind of hugging I could do.
Right. Yes, it counts. It's funny because, you know what? Come to think of it, I still want the hugging. I want that back. And Yeah, I miss having an armful of the people I love. It's just like an emptiness in here, kind of. But it turns out that I guess we've gone a little deeper into what a hug really is and the feeling that it wants to get across, because now we're accepting this and it feels good. Right?
I wonder too if that the miss for a hug is leading us to a more loving place in a weird way. I don't know if that,
in a more abstract version of it.
yeah, I mean, we can go to the negativeness about, you know, we're trapped in and our emotions are, you know, you have this anger, which could cause the role of the anger that we're all dealing with right now in society. But there's also that other thing about that connection, that love. And that's what I do for Performing Arts Studio West as well. Every day I call at least 8 students and we just chat.
Do you? Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, and it's for them, it's for me, it's for their families, and sometimes I talk to the parents more than.
Good.
So it's healing. It's healing.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, I was just in touch with Blair. We emailed each other.
Oh, Blair Webb.
Yes, and I haven't seen her since my day at Studio Actors West, and it was just wonderful.
She's amazing, isn't she?
Yes, really amazing. And you know, the truth is, once you've established some kind of an affection, love, connection, it never goes away.
No.
It never disappears. So neither time nor distance, darling, will ever take us apart. Yes. Yes.
I want to go into song with that.
I think you should. I think you should. Well, I want to thank you for doing this with me. It's just wonderful to talk to you.
This can't be over. We need more.
Yes. Well, why don't we just do it again?
Oh my gosh.
Pick another topic and we'll do it again. Okay.
Oh, another topic. Okay. Next time we'll talk about the autographs that I have.
Okay. You have them already. Okay. It's a date. Listen, let's plan this out a little. The autographs, do you have a lot of them?
No. I just reached up to say, you know, or we could talk about the places I've been, like the White House.
Have you been to the White House?
I have. That's with the Push Girls, and there's Jerry.
Oh, you were actually at the White House with the Push Girls?
I was with with the Push Girls and Jerry Jewell.
I didn't know that. When was that?
That was back in the good old days with with the lovely Obamas and.
Okay. By the way, I know this is not everybody's gonna, but I saw that on Facebook, Audi had some surgery. She's okay?
I hope so.
Okay. All right. Well,
everybody's been going through a lot of different stuff.
Yes. Okay. Everybody is. I'm glad you're keeping your head above water and doing all the things you do to spread the love that you're spreading and keeping us aware of what's going on in that particular world. Thank you, sweetheart. I'll just talk to you soon. I'll tell everybody goodbye for now.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, yeah.